Hello, welcome back to Pan Edutainment. This is another day, this is another chance for you to grow in language speaking. Today, we are taking English to the next level. You don't always need to sound the same when you use the words. You need to alter the words that you use by using these phrasal verbs of today. Today we have phrasal verbs as an advanced lesson. Dufite isomo risa nkaho ari ry'abantu bakuru ariko nanone ntabwo bigomba gutera ubwoba wowe utaragira aho ugera hakure. Don't hesitate to follow us. Hari icyo uri bukureho byanga bikunze. Today we learn about phrasal verbs that are different, they are diverse, they are not related to one another, but they are all helpful. Today, let's start without wasting time. This is the first phrasal verb of today. Brush off. Brush off. Brush off means dismissing something rudely. Brushing off ni ugukuraho ikintu cyangwa se kwanga ikintu mu buryo bubi cyane. For example, you can have an idea and you tell it to someone, and then even before listening to you, they say, no, that's not a good idea. Ufite igitekerezo ariko umuntu na mbere yuko acyumva ngo kirangire agahita akubwira ati reka. This is not a good idea. That means brushing off your idea. You say, his claims were brushed off in front of everyone. This is an example. His claims were brushed off in front of everyone. Ibitekerezo bye cyangwa se ibirego bye cyangwa se ibyo yireguzaga byose byahise byangwa imbere y'abantu bose. For example, you can go to the court. Remember the last time we talked about the court? Twavuze ku by'urukiko. Ushobora kuri mu rukiko ufite proofs zigaragaza wenda kurengana ariko bagahita babitera hariya bavuga ngo iki in Kinyarwanda. Write in the comment section. If something is rejected completely, dismissed rudely, that means brushed off. Thank you. The next one is called step down. Step down, which means resigning from power. This is a political term that means resigning from power. Ni ijambo riri politike rivuga kwegura cyangwa se kuva mu nshingano z'ubuyobozi. You know what it means because you've heard of it many times. You've heard of ministers, presidents stepping down from their thrones, from their kingdoms, from their rules, from all the leadership. You see? That's what we say, resigning from power. Kwegura ku nshingano cyangwa se kuva mu nshingano. The president said that he's going to step down. Perezida yavuze ko agiye kwegura. Stepping down. You get that? It's a political term that you hear many times in newspapers, from broadcast and TV shows saying, okay, you know what happened yesterday? They told us the president is stepping down. Stepping down means you are getting down in the throne. That's what it means. Great. The next phrasal verb of today is called hold up. Hold up means delay something. To hold up something ni ugutinza ikintu cyangwa se gutinza umuntu. Ushobora nko gutinza inama, gutinza igikorwa runaka wari ufite bitewe n'impamvu. For example, the manager held up the meeting until everyone said something. Manager yatindije inama paka buri muntu agize icyo avuga. You get what I mean by that? The manager held up the meeting. The meeting was supposed to be for 2 hours and finally it took 4 hours because the manager was waiting for everyone to say something. Mwari mu nama mwanga gutanga ibitekerezo, manager aravuga ati murava ahangaha muvuze. Why is this happening? Murava mutanze ibitekerezo. That's why he held up the meeting. Nugutinza ikintu cyangwa se umuntu. Hold up. Now, the fourth phrasal verb of today is hinge on. Hinge on means depending on something or someone. Iki kintu runaka gishingiye kuri iki. You can say, my life hinges on you. If you have someone whose your life depends on, you can say, ubuzima bwanjye bushingiye kuri wowe. For example, my life hinges on you. This is an expression that means depending on. Success hinges on teamwork. gutsinda bishingira ku gukorera hamwe. Success depends on teamwork, or success hinges on teamwork. Our development hinges on his presence. Iterambere ryacu rishingira gusa ku kuba ari hano. As he is here, we develop. That means our development hinges on his presence. Keep using those words in your expressions when you talk to people, when you converse with the people, with your friends. Don't always repeat yourself with the same words. Start altering. Tangira uhindure amagambo ukoresha izindi mvugo, so that your language can develop as well as you develop. Great. The next is stem from. Stem from. Stem from means originate from. Iki gituruka kuri iki, bikomoka kuri iki, ibi abikomora kuri uyu. This one stems his discipline from his father. Discipline agira burya ikinyabupfura agira agikomora kuri se. He stems his discipline from his father. That's what we can say. His generosity stems from his father. Ubuntu bwe buturuka kuri se. That is something that originates from another. Do you get that? Start using that in your phrase too. The next phrasal verb is bear with. To bear with. Bear with means accept. Ni ukwemera cyangwa se kwemeranya n'ikintu runaka cyangwa se n'umuntu runaka. Let's say, will you bear with my proposal today? Will you bear with my proposal? Mbese muremera ubusabe bwanjye uyu munsi? Mbese muremera igitekerezo cyanjye? For example, you have an idea in a company. You are trying to invent something and you go there with your idea, you tell it to the people, you ask finally, do you bear with my proposal? Urakababaza, mbese muremeranya n'igitekerezo cyanjye? That's something you should say. Now, if you can't bear with something, or you can't bear with someone, wrong, ibyo bintu sinshobora kubyemera, sinabyihanganira. This is what you say. I can't bear with such a shame. Iyo bibaye negative, ni handi uvuga ngo sinabyihanganira. I can't bear with such a shame. Icyo kintu sinakwihanganira ikimwaro kingana gutyo. Do you get that? Is there something you can't bear with? Mbese hari ibintu ugira mu buzima wumva utakwihanganira. For example, you can say, I can't bear with an unserious person. Sinakwihanganira kubana n'umuntu utari seriye, niko babivuga nowadays. I can't bear with such a shame. The next phrasal verb, which is actually the last in our lesson today, is called phasing out. Phase out. We are also phasing out to this lesson, but as we phase out, we are also learning the phrasal verb called phase out, which is actually gradually stop using something. Gradually stop using something ni ukugenda uhagarika ikintu gake gake cyangwa se uhagarika gukoresha ikintu gake gake. For example, if you recall in the past years when we were banning the plastic use, it didn't just happen in a wink of an eye. Mu gihe twacaga plastique mu Rwanda ntabwo byabaye ikintu gita kivuga ngo pop ziracitse. It phased out. Byagenze gake. Zatangiye gukoreshwa bagenda bagabanya kuzikoresha until the last minute when we finally banned the plastic usage. You say, nowadays, petrol cars are being phased out. Muri iyi minsi imodoka zikoresha essence zirimo cyangwa se petrol ziragenda zigabanuka. Barimo baragenda bazica gake because everything is being electrified. Nowadays, buri kintu turi kuzana imodoka zikoresha amashanyarazi, ibintu byose bikoresha amashanyarazi. Why? Because it is good for the climate, it is good for biodiversity, you know that. Nowadays, petrol cars are being phased out. Zirimo ziragenda zikendera. Gucendera, that's a good word to use. You can also say, seriousness is really phasing out. Seriousness is phasing out. What does that mean? ubunyangamugayo cyangwa se kuba seriye biri kugenda bikendera. For example, you can be observing the people in the community and you see everyone is behaving very strangely, no one is serious. Biri kugenda bikendera rwose. Murimo murabona ukuntu kuba serious muri iyi minsi bigenda bikendera. You say, seriousness is phasing out nowadays. Is there anything that you know also which is phasing out? Hari ikindi kintu uzi kigenda gikendera muri iyi minsi? Write for us. Type in the comment section and tell us, maybe discipline is phasing out or peace is phasing out. Write something in the comment section. It will also help you practice using these words in your English learning journey. Thank you very much for today's lesson. I hope you will be still there by the next lesson. This is Teacher Gervais. See you next time. Hello, welcome back to Pan Edutainment. How are you doing today? I hope everything is fine with you where you are watching us from. Today, we have a very wonderful lesson. I hope you are eager to listen and learn from this. Today, we will talk about wishes and imaginations. Do you ever wish of something? Do you ever imagine of something? Wishing is like you don't have something now, but you have a feeling that you want it, but you don't have it. Imagining something is like thinking of something, making it real when it is not real. Something does not happen or did not happen or is not happening, but you are kind of making it feel real. This is what we talk about today. With expressions and ways to talk about wishes and imaginations, we have got various of them and we will talk about them today. The first way is to say, I wish. You start saying what you wish, but we will look exactly how to talk about what you wish. Remember that a wish is not something real. It's what you have in your mind. You want to have it, but it's not real. That's why we have what we call unreal past. Unreal past. You will be thinking of something as it has already happened. Uri kwifuza ikintu ntabwo ugifite, urumva wifuza umeze nkaho uri kuvuga ngo yaba nari ngifite. Ntabwo kiriho nyine ni ibitekerezo uri kwifuza ni ibyifuzo. That's what we talk about today. Let's say, I wish you were here today. I wish you were here today. Iyaba wari uri hano uyu munsi. You may think, when I say I wish you were here today, you think of where and today and you think it's not possible. Ushobora kubona nakoresheje where hanyuma nkashyiraho ngo today ukagira ngo ntabwo ari byo, but this is the correct form, this is the correct structure. Ni gutya tubivuga mu gihe uri kwifuza ko ibintu byakabaye biriho ariko bitariho. You will not say I wish you were here. You will not say that. You will just say I wish you were here today. Iyaba wari uri hano uyu munsi. Iyaba wari uri hano uyu munsi. I wish you were here today. See the example number 2. He wishes you didn't go. He wishes you didn't go. Arifuza ko wakabaye utagiye. Kuri we arumva utakabaye wagiye. Cyangwa se arumva utagenda. This is what it means. Arumva utagenda. Actually, the thing hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened. It has not happened yet. But he wishes it didn't happen. Arumva bitabaho. I wish you didn't go. Arumva utagenda. He wishes you to stay. This is what you can say. I wish you didn't go. Ushaka kubwira umuntu ngo ndifuza kuguma hano, uramubwira ngo I wish you didn't go. Ndifuza kutagenda. This is what it means. Do you get that? Even if we are using the past in this way, it doesn't mean the past. It's just the unreal past. Nubwo turimo gukoresha past simple, this doesn't really mean something has happened or happened some time ago. It's a wish. He wishes you didn't go. She wishes she were taller. Arifuza cyangwa arumva yakabaye ari muremure. Yaba muremure. Urumva, she's not tall. Arifuza ntabwo ari muremure, ariko arifuza kuba muremure. Arifuza kuba muremure. This is what it means. She wishes she were tall. She wishes she were taller than she is. Actually, she's not tall, but she wishes she were taller. Do you know how to use those things? I think you can try speaking like this. Don't say, I wish I am here. Say, I wish I were here. Ndumva nifuza kuba ndi hano. Nifuza kuba hano. I wish. This is what you should start using. Now, I wish I didn't feel tired. Yaba ntari naniwe. You get that? I'm tired, but I wish I didn't feel tired. It is now opposing the real truth. The actual truth is that I'm tired, but I wish I wasn't tired. Ndifuza yaba ntari naniwe. You know, it's like you're asking me to do something and I tell you, oh, I would help you, but I wish I wasn't tired. You get that? This is what we say when we're talking about wishes it's like in the past, but it doesn't mean the past. In the next lesson, we will talk about how to talk about things that you wish had happened. But today, it's the actual wish. Ibyo uri kwifuza nonaha bitari ibyo wicuza byahashize. We are talking about today. I wish you learned well. Ndifuza ko mwakwiga neza. I wish you learned well. That's what I say. It's actual. It's present. I wish you didn't go. Ndumva utagenda. You get what I say? This is how we talk about wishes in the present. We actually use the past, but it means the present. Thank you very much for understanding. Let's go now to another form of using wish. Let's say, if only. This is now the emphasis. Ni cya gihe uri gutsindagira ngo iyaba nibura nari mfite iki ngiki. If I only had money. Uwampa amafaranga nibura. If I only had money, I would help you. Mbangufashije ariko nibura yaba mfite amafaranga mbangufashije. It's like you are wishing for something now, but it's not real. I would help you if I only had time. Nagufasha kiretse nakagufashije yaba nibura mfite igihe. At least if I had time. You get this meaning? If only I had time. It's an emphasis of talking and showing expressions of how you wish something to happen. Uratsindagira rwose uti yaba nibura. This is what it means. My clothes would be dry if only it was sunny. Imyenda yanjye yakabaye yumye iyaba nibura ryari rirashe. You're looking up the sky and you see it's not sunny, it's raining, but you say, oh, if only it was sunny. Iyaba nibura akazuba karashe. Imyenda yanjye yakuma. Do you get that? If only. It's another way of expressing your wishes of the present wishes. To the next lesson, we will talk about regretting or wishing something had happened. Ariko uyu munsi turimo turavuga ibyo wifuza nonaha. I wish I had money. Uwampa amafaranga. It's like you are wishing for something now. If only I had money. This can be used in the same context. Where this can work too. If you say, I wish you were here today, you can also say, if only you were here today. Yaba ruhari uyu munsi. Yaba ruhari. Do you get that? Now, let's jump to imaginations. Imaginations now are unreal thinking, unreal thoughts. Ni ibitekerezo bitariho uri kwiremamo muri wowe. Uri kwimaginane. It's like we have made it at a Kinyarwanda word. It's imaginations. Let's see this one. Suppose. I know many of the people use this word, but many don't use it the right way. Suppose you won the lottery. Suppose you won the lottery. It's like ibaze utsinze, ibaze utomboye muri lottery, you know. I think you know lottery. Handi bajya ya mikino y'amahirwe bashyiraho amafaranga hanyuma igihe runaka bakazahamagara watsinze. You are imagining that situation and say, oh, suppose you won a lottery. Ibaze utsinze. It's not something that happened. Even if you see me using the past, ntabwo ari ukuvuga ngo ibaze yaba waratsinze. No, actually the imagination of the present. Imagine you won the lottery. This is what it means. The same thing. Suppose it was raining now. Sometimes you can be playing outside, mushobora kuba muri gukina hanyuma ukibaza ngo ase ubu yaba imvura iri kugwa nonaha byari kuba bimeze bite. Imagine, suppose it was raining. Even if I use the past, it doesn't mean the past. It's the actual imagination. Ndi kwibaza, ndi gutekereza, ndi kugerageza kwibaza uko byaba bimeze ngo ese ibaze ubaye at this moment. Suppose you were dead. Oh, sorry to say, ibaze upfuye nona. Ibaze wapfuye. Do you see? Suppose it was. Please, whenever you suppose, make sure to use the past verb. Mu gihe ukoresheje suppose, it has to be followed by the past verb kugira ngo byumvikane ko ari ikintu urimo kwimagina. Otherwise, you'll be saying it is real, while this form means the imagination. Suppose I were your father. Ibaze ndiso. Suppose I were your father. This is another way of saying. The same to this, imagine. This is something that people use a lot of times, but sometimes you forget that it is an imagination word. Imagine I were your father. That's what I was saying. Imagine I were. Imagine I were your father. Ibaze ndiso. Even if you are saying it now, in English you use the past verb. Ibaze bigenze bitya. Ibaze mbese byagenda bite. You are creating a situation. Ntabwo uri kwibuka ibyo hashize. You are trying to create a situation right now. Imagine I died now. Ibaze mfuye nona. What would happen? What would happen? Wabigenza ute? Imagine I died. I know there is an artist in Rwanda whose song is having those words. Hari umuhanzi nzi uririmba ngo ibaze mfuye. This is what it means actually. Imagine I died. Even if you see me use the past, it doesn't mean the past. It is the unreal imagination. Thank you. What if? What if? It's another way of creating an imaginative story, imaginary story. Ese bigenze bitya. This is a question that many people ask in interviews. What if we hired you? Mbese tuguhaye akazi. Byagenda bite? What if we hired you? Do you see? It's also followed by the past. Don't blame me. What if it were you? What if it were you? Windenganya. Mbese ari wowe wabigenza ute? What if it were you? Do you see that? What if it were you? I still use the past, but it doesn't mean the past. I'm trying to create a story right now. Bibaye ari wowe wabigenza ute? What if it were you? What if we lived on Mars? Mbese tuba kuri Mars byagenda bite? What if we lived on Mars? Please, whatever you use that time, whenever you use these things, what if, imagine, suppose, I wish, remember that the following verb has to be in the past. Not meaning the past. Igomba kubiri muri past, ariko atari ukuri kuvuga ku byahise, ahubwo ni imaginary story. You are creating, urimo kurema ibintu bidahari. What if we lived on Mars? Ibaze tuba kuri Mars. Now, the same as these words here, saying, assume that, tekereza, ishyiremo ko bigenze bitya. These are assumptions, imaginations. Let's say you won a lottery. Let's say you succeeded in everything. Ibaze utsinze muri buri kimwe. Reka tuvuge ko utsinda muri buri kimwe. Let's say you were my father. Reka tuvuge ko uri data. What would you do with me? Wantwariki. That's what I know another content creator who says, what would you do with me? Wantwariki. What would you do with me? Pretend I was your. It's like you are imagining. Pretend you are the president. igire nka perezida turebe. You are not president, but you are pretending. You're trying to make yourself like the president. Pretend. All these forms are followed by the past in verbs, but not in the meanings. So, I hope this lesson has been helpful. Do you have something else you want to know about? Do you have a comment about this lesson? Do you have a question? Don't hesitate to write in the comment section. Niba ufite icyo wumva udasobanukiwe, wabaza muri comment. Niba ufite kandi icyo wumva twagusobanurira ubutaha, ntushidikanye kutwandikira. Thank you very much for the next lesson. We will be together till the next lesson. This is Teacher Gervais. See you. Welcome back, dear ladies and gentlemen, to Pan Edutainment. This is another day. It's another opportunity. It's another chance for you to grow your English. How are you doing? Today, we will talk about poverty. Are you poor? Oh, do you know someone poor? Don't worry about that. Poverty doesn't mean you will always be poor. You can get out of that and be rich or have a stable life. Today, we will talk about poverty, and the word of the day is going to be the word penny. Penny. Do you know what a penny is? A penny is actually referred to as a coin, money, this piece of money that people use to buy things. In general way, when we say penny, I have a lot of pennies, that is saying I have a lot of money. That is what it means. Penny is actually money in this used way. Now let's go talking about poverty. There are different conditions that you talk about poverty, like saying you are living hand to mouth. Living hand to mouth. What does that mean? You see, your hand to mouth. This is just the position of eating. You get something from your hand to your mouth. It is a condition where the earned money is immediately spent for basic needs. Iki ni cya gihe amafaranga yose ubonye ashirira mu byo kurya cyangwa se muri bya bintu by'ibanze. Ni kwa kundi umuntu abaho nta mafaranga abasha kwizigamira kubera ko ayabonye yose arangirana nyine na bya bintu akeneye. This is actually living hand to mouth. Do you get what it means? Kubaho ubeshejweho no kurya gusa cyangwa se ubeshejweho no kugira ngo ubone ibigutunga. Just your hand to mouth, nothing else. No saving, no buying luxuries. It's just hand to mouth. I'm actually living hand to mouth because I'm working and all my salary is spent buying food and paying rent. Ngo ndakorera umushahara nkishyura inzu nyuma nkagura ibyo kurya. Then the money is finished. Nothing else. No saving. That is a part of being poor. This is a sign of poverty. If you're living hand to mouth, umenye ko rwose ukennye. Niba ukorera kurya gusa cyangwa se kubona bya bindi by'ibanze, you are actually poor. I'm sorry. The next thing is saying I'm impoverished. Impoverished. Naho urakennye rwose, urakennye. You are very poor. You are very poor. This is another way of saying, instead of saying, oh, you know what, I'm nowadays very poor, you can say I've become impoverished. Impoverished. It's not a good thing though, but it happens. This is a life condition. We cannot get away from it, even though we have to work hard. You can say, I am impoverished. You get that. Getting back to the word of the day, if you don't have any penny, if you don't have any money, we say you are penniless. Penniless. You say, I'm nowadays penniless. You know what? I don't have any money. I can't pay anything. I can't buy anything on my own. I'm penniless. Ndakennye. Habe n'igiceri. They say, habe n'urutoboye, habe n'urupfumuye. I don't know what they were talking about Rwandans when they said habe n'urupfumuye, habe n'urutoboye. Tell me, what do they mean? But I think they mean someone is penniless. This is a good thing to say, but not a good thing to be. You can be proud when you have a lot of words to express yourself about being poor, but you can't be proud that you are poor. Ushobora kuba wishimiye kumenya amagambo y'icyongereza ajyanye no gukena, ariko ntabwo wakishimira kukennye cyangwa se ko wakena. Don't be poor, please. The next thing is saying It's very funny. Having a crying wallet. Having a crying wallet. Kugira ikofi irira, ikofi yawe iriho irarira nta kintu kirimo. It's like nothing in it. You say, you know what? My wallet is crying. My wallet is crying. It's like, it's empty. Nothing is in there. Ikofi yanjye rwose yambaye ubusa nta kintu kirimo yaratobotse. That's what we say. Having very little money or no money at all. This is what it means. It's an expression that you can use jokingly but also meaningful. It's like saying, I have a crying wallet nowadays. Getting to the next expression, sign of poverty too, is robbing Peter to pay Paul. Let me repeat this. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. What does it mean? Robbing, kwiba. Nukwiba Peter kugira ngo wishyure Paul. You know what that means? It's an expression that is used when someone is paying one debt by borrowing from another. You paying one debt, borrowing from another. Nukugira ngo ni handi ugera ku rwego wishyura ideni rimwe ruko wafashe irindi. I know many people suffer from this. They have a lot of problems, financial problems, to the extent that they have to borrow money to pay other debts. This is what we say, robbing Peter to pay Paul, or robbing Paul to pay Peter. Kwiba Peter kugira ngo wishyure Paul. It's a very hard situation because you can't get away from it unless you get maybe a savior from somewhere else, or when you work very hard. Iri mu gihe ubasha kwishyura umwenda ruko wafashe undi, it's very hard. Get away from that. Work harder and harder. Then, if you are living all this life, you say, oh God, I'm dead broke. I'm dead broke. Ndakennye pe. I'm dead broke, very poor. If I can only pay my debt by borrowing from another, I'm dead broke. If I am just living hand to mouth, I'm dead broke. Niba mbaho kugira ngo ibyo mbonye byose ari kugira ngo mbashe kurya gusa, just all, I'm dead broke. Niba if I am penniless, you say I'm dead broke. This is like a summarizing word to say that you are very poor. But apart from being very poor, there is one thing that people do, maybe to prevent themselves from getting poor, or they do it because they are poor. Hari ikindi abantu bakora kubera ko bashaka kwirinda ubukene cyangwa se nanone bakagikora kubera ko bakennye. What is that? It is tightening my belt. Tightening my belt. Nukwizirika umukanda. That's what they say in Kinyarwanda. Kwizirika. Because you have very little money, you try to spend as less money as possible. Kubera ko ufite udufaranga duke ukagerageza gukoresha amake ashoboka. Aho ugiye kugura, you negotiate, ugakatuza kugira ngo ukoreshe amafaranga make. You are tightening your belt. You are tightening your belt. Are you tightening your belt? Urimo urafunga umukandara wawe cyane. Urimo urizirika. You can do it maybe because you are poor, because you don't have a lot of money, or else you do it because you don't want to be poor. Hari ababikora kugira ngo badakena, even though sometimes it doesn't work. Hari ababikora kugira ngo badakena, ariko hari n'ababikora kubera ko bakennye. This is what they say, tightening your belt. This is trying to spend as less money as possible. Kugerageza gukoresha amafaranga make ashoboka. If you had to eat a certain kind of food, you say, oh, I will not, this is expensive, I buy this one, it is cheap. All that is about tightening your belt. However, if you're poor, or if you feel like you're getting to the door of poverty, I have 3 messages for you today. The first one says, still breathing, still believing. Still breathing, still believing. Uracyahumeka, niyo mpamvu ugomba kugira uko kwizera n'icyizere. As you are still breathing, you still have to believe that you can get out of the poverty. That's one message. The second says, This is a bend, not the end. It is a bend, not the end. Bending means you are bending down. Maybe the poverty has made you bend, but it's not the end. Wenda byagushyize hasi, byaguhengamishije cyangwa se byakunamishije, ariko ubukene ntabwo ari ryo herezo. It's not the end. You can get away from that. You can work harder and harder to get away from poverty. The last is saying, you are broke, but not broken. You are broke, but not broken. Urakennye, ariko ntabwo wavunitse cyangwa se ntabwo wapfuye. You are not broken. You still have your energy and your strength. You can do something. If you can't do something, you still believe maybe there is a miracle coming on. See you next time. Work harder and harder to get away from poverty. This is Teacher Gervais. I will see you till the next lesson. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Pan Edutainment. This is another day. This is another opportunity. Do you want to be a perfectionist, or are you a perfectionist? You might wonder, what is a perfectionist? Who is a perfectionist? A perfectionist, it's somebody who has a tendency to try to be perfect at everything they do. Are you the same person who want to be perfect, who want to be good, very good at everything you try to do? I guess you are, or you not maybe, but I guess. Let me tell you something. This sounds good, but it's not good at all. Being perfect and being a perfectionist are two different things. As you can see, perfectionist or perfectionism means the tendency to try to do everything perfectly. And I tell you what, it's not good for language. It's not good for linguistics. It's not good for the people who want to develop their language, because it limits you somehow. Because if you say, you know what, I want to be perfect, when are you going to start learning? You say, oh, let me wait for the perfect time, but you never get that perfect time. Umuntu ushaka gukora ibintu byiza gusa ntabwo ashobora kwiga ururimi. Niba ushaka kwiga ururimi biragusaba kumenya ko n'amakosa abaho, ntabwo ibintu byose wabikora neza. You can't be perfect at all. You have to get some flows with you. You have to make mistakes and learn and continue learning like that. In this lesson, we look up to the words related to perfectionism. We also have the examples of the people who are perfectionists and see what characterizes them and how to get rid of that. What we can do to avoid perfectionism in language. Tureba perfectionism ndetse n'amagambo afitanye isano nabyo, turebe ibiranga abantu bameze gutyo ndetse n'icyo twakora ngo tureke ko aba perfectionist harya babita ngo iki mu Kinyarwanda. Umuntu uri perfectionist bamwita ngo iki? Write in the comment section. So, if somebody is a perfectionist, we call them, how can you read this word? Fastidious. Fastidious. That means somebody who is hard to please. Umuntu ugoranye cyane, umuntu ugoranye kumushimisha. Nta kintu na kimwe wakora ngo kimushimishe. Abashaka ko everything, ikintu cyose kiba kiri ku murongo, kiba cyiza cyane. He's fastidious. Do you know someone fastidious? Let's say if you've been a student once, you had leaders at school or teachers who were fastidious. Mwagize abarimu bakunda ko ibintu byose biba biri ku murongo, utagira ikintu na kimwe ukora cyiza ngo wizere ko kimushimisha. Do you have those people in your family? Maybe your father is a fastidious person. He's very hard to please. Biragoranye ko wabona ikintu na kimwe kimushimisha. Uwo muntu kugira ngo uzabone avuze ngo wow, that's very difficult. He's fastidious. He's also demanding. Aragoranye. Abazi igifaransa niyo bavuga ngo il est exigeant. Asaba ibirenze kugira ngo akwe umwemeze rwose biragoye. He's very demanding. Who is demanding? Are you demanding? Or do you know somebody demanding? Start using these words in your real life conversations and say, oh wow, that's very demanding. umva umuntu akagusaba ibintu kumva birarenze cyane kumva ntiwabishobora. No, that's very demanding. Tell me something else. Ngira ibindi. That's very demanding, because that person is fastidious. They're perfectionist. Arashaka ibintu byose bikora neza, arashaka kubyuka mu gitondo ugakora amasuku, ugakora ibi nibi kugeza ubwo saa moya ibintu byose uraba wabirangije. Are you a robot? That's very demanding. You can't do that. That's very demanding. Now, somebody also meticulous. Meticulous means also someone who's very precise. Umuntu perfect. In this way, it doesn't sound all positive. The words actually are not negative at all, but they don't also sound positive at all. They are somehow negative. You can feel that when I say someone is meticulous, that means they're very precise. Ndashaka ibintu bigenda gutya, nibitagenda gutya, I don't want that. Nutabikora gutya, we are not going to be the same person. This is meticulous. You are meticulous. Tell someone you are meticulous or demanding or fastidious. That's it. Now, someone who is a perfectionist are also self-conscious a lot of times. Self-conscious ni wa muntu ukunda kwitekerezaho cyane, kwirebaho ngo arebe ko ibintu byose mbese nasokoje, mbese natebeje, mbese everything. Before you even start speaking, ukabanza ukareba amagambo nayatondetse neza. You start saying something and you start again. That's very self-conscious. It's not bad, but it's not good at all. Ntabwo ari bibi, ariko ntabwo ari byiza cyane. Being self-conscious, iyo bibaye cyane biba bibi, kuko uzisanga utinya gukora buri kintu cyose. Uvuga ngo maybe I'm not perfect, maybe I'm not good at this, maybe you are always questioning yourself. You're always asking yourself questions, and it's not good. You always want to be flawless. Ni wa muntu utagira ikosa. Wa wundi twita sans défaut. Nta kosa na rimwe wamubonaho. He's spotless. If clothes are spotless, imyenda niba ari imyenda y'umweru, tukavuga ngo spotless, nta kizinga na kimwe kirimo. So, do you want to be spotless? Are you an angel? Are you God? You can't be spotless unless you are God or you are like God. You can't be flawless. That's why in language you don't have to fear making mistakes. Ntabwo byabaho ukora ikosa. Ntabwo byabaho kubaho udakora ikosa. That's why even when I'm talking right now, I think you can tell some mistakes, can you? I'm not flawless. I'm not spotless. I'm not perfectionist. It's not something I can wish to be. I can't be perfect at all things. So, look at what characterizes these people. The people who are perfectionists in language, they fear mistakes, of course. Batinya gukora makosa. They over-criticize themselves. Bahora bishinja ibintu kubanza nabikoze nabi. Maybe I didn't do that well. They always overrate it and over-practice. You always repeat yourself saying, did I do it well? Did I say it well? Urusubiramo ngo urebe ibi bintu harya nabikoze. Ugasanga umuntu arimo kwandika message ari ayandikira undi agasiba nk'inshuro 10 kubera ko atekereza ko hari ikintu kibi agiye kwandikamo. It's good to be cautious, ni byiza kwitonda, but being an over-editor, over-editing everything and over-practicing everything, that doesn't give you confidence. That doesn't give you peace. Ntabwo byaguha amahoro. They fear risk-taking. Urutinya kugira ibyo watangira bishya. Uvuga ngo maybe I cannot do that. So, this is what I say. They also set unrealistic high standards. Bahora biha intego ngo maybe I will start speaking when I get to this level, and you will not get there. Start now. This is what you can do. Instead of remaining silent, aho kugira ngo uceceke ngo uzategereza kuba mwiza kurushaho, you can do this instead. Choose progress over perfection. This is a grammatical thing that I want you to use. Nshaka uzajya uvuga ngo guhitamo iki kukirutisha iki ngiki. Choose something over another. If I give you two things to choose and you say, oh, you know what, I choose this over this. That's what we say. So I choose progress over perfection. Misemo gutangira nkakomeza aho kugira ngo ndindire ko ibintu byose bizaba byiza. I choose fluency over accuracy. Do you get that? Choose something over another. That's what I say. Choose action over preparation. Aho kugira ngo uhore mu myiteguro ngo nzabikora wenda ngo ngiye kubanza nkora ibi nibi. Choose action. Start. And then the preparation is not something you can take the whole life doing. Choose communication over silence. Aho kugira ngo uceceke. Speak out. Communicate. And then the silence will vanish. I will end this session with this saying: perfectionism does not make you a better learner. It doesn't make you a better learner. Practice does. Mistakes do. And courage does. Kwigira mwiza kurushaho ntabwo ari byo bizakugira umunyeshuri mwiza. Ahubwo uko ukora usubiramo, that's what makes it. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. That's a proverb. So I thank you for today. Don't keep being perfectionist. Keep trying, keep progressing in English. See you next time. Bye-bye. I can speak English. People can understand me, right? I can even understand others. That's enough. That's what a lot of people say. And do you know what they are doing? They are feeling comfortable. They don't feel like they can move anything. I don't want to change anything. I know everything. Oh, even when I don't know everything, I know what I need to communicate. That's a lot of people say. Nta kintu nkeneye kwiga, ndavuga abantu bakanyumva, nanjye kandi numva ibyo bavuga. That's enough. You are in your comfort zone. You are in your comfort zone. Do you think that is good for you? Comfort zone. Today, we are going to talk about comfort zone. Welcome back to Pan Edutainment. This is teacher Gervais again with you, telling you about comfort zone. First of all, let's talk of the word of the day, which is the word. How do you read this word? Stagnant. Stagnant. Do you know when we say something is stagnant or someone is stagnant? This is when you are in a static way. You're not moving, you are still. If something is stagnant, it doesn't move, it doesn't change. This is what happens when people feel comforted, when they're in the comfort zone. When you feel like you know everything, you don't want to change, you don't want to learn, you don't want to improve. This is what happens. You become stagnant. Nuko bigenda iyo udashaka kugira icyo wiga gishya. Uzahora uri uwo nguwo. People will know you like that. Nothing will change. But today, I will talk to you about comfort zone. It's a state where you feel safe, relaxed, and confident because you are doing what you already know. When we say someone is in a comfort zone, ni handi tuvuga ngo uyu yumva yaragezeyo. Yagezeyo. Do you feel like you are in a comfort zone? Ese wumva waragezeyo? Kukumenya icyongereza? Wumva nta bindi ushaka kwiga ni that's enough. I know a lot of things. I don't want to learn another thing. Now, when we see comfort zone, is it good? In one way, according to the definition, you can say, this is good. You are confident, you are relaxed, of course. You are safe. Because you are doing what you already know. Like, I'm talking to you in English because I know English. I'm comfortable. But what if I don't want to change for years? What if I say, I am going to be speaking like this all my life? This is going to be called comfort zone, but it's not good at all. It cannot just happen in languages. It happens in other corners of life. Let's say you are a singer, and you feel like, you know what, I'm going to be singing in one voice and I will not change. Tuvuge kuri umuririmbyi uravuga uti ntabwo nzigera mpindura still kuva natangira kuririmba kuzageza mpfuye. I will not change. You are in a comfort zone, but it's not good. The people in the comfort zone, language comfort zone, are using the same words over and over again, over and over again. Uzasanga umuntu amaze imyaka 10 avuga icyongereza ariko akivuga agisuhuza abantu nkuko yabasuhuzaga mu myaka 10 ishize, akibabwira nkuko yababwiraga mu myaka 10 ishize. Avoiding challenges. Ntashaka there is an artist who sang nta kibazo na kimwe nshaka kwiteza. You know that's what happens. Ntushaka kwiteza ikibazo na kimwe. You don't want challenges. You don't want any correction. If I come here and I tell you, don't say this, but say this to sound better. Ninza nkakubwira ngo umva kugira ngo bibe byiza kurushaho, speak like this. You will say, no, that's annoying. I already know what I do and I don't want to change. This is a person in a comfort zone. You will find them avoiding advanced conversations. They say, oh, that's not mine. I do this. I don't speak like that. Let's say you are in English and you say, do you know anything about literature? And you say, no way, you know what? I didn't study literature. And I'm not going to do that. That's for the people speaking, or the people in the areas of literature. That's what happens with the people in the comfort zone. But today, I will talk to you about how dangerous it is and how you can step out of the comfort zone. The people in the comfort zone actually have a slow progress. A slow progress. You will always hear the same words, the same way, the same tone. Let's say the people like us, being not the native speakers of languages, tuba dukeneye buri gihe guhora twiga, tukahindura imivugire, tukimprovinga, tukongera imbaraga mu byo dukora. That's why I say, when you are in a comfort zone, you will always be slow in your progress. There is nothing going on with you. You will have repeated mistakes. Can you imagine committing mistakes for 5 years and they don't change? This is what happens with the people in the comfort zone. Limited expression. There is a limit always. You don't want to push your boundaries and get to something bigger. Loss of confidence. If you are still in a comfort zone, let's say you are a teacher and you think, I will always teach the primary school. I don't want to teach the old people. You know what? You will always be that fragile, that low. That's why I don't encourage comfort zone this time. So this way, step with me to this level of seeing what happens when we are in a comfort zone. These words are the words in relation to the comfort zone. Aya ni amagambo tuvuga dukoresha ku bantu bavuga ko bagezeyo. Ni abantu bagezeyo ariko tugiye kubareba ibibabaho. These words, you can start using them in real life conversations. As I've said, being stagnant means being stuck, like being limited. Nta mpinduka. Ahora ari uwo nguwo. Ntava aho ari. Yaragwingiye. Let's say that in an understandable language. Yaragwingiye. Ntakura. In language, you are stagnant. If you always use the same words over and over again, you are stagnant. You are stuck. You are being stuck. Stuck. You are moving and something stops you. And you are here. You don't move. You don't go backwards. You also don't move forward. You are stuck. Let's say in this there is Kinyarwanda, waragosque. You are just there. You are going to stay there if you don't want to improve. If you don't want to step out of your comfort zone. You are inert. Inert. The same thing. Being inert means you are not able to move. The people who studied physics, you studied what they call inertia. I think it has something to do with inert, being inert. Now, if you are inert, you are not able to move. So, if you don't want to be inert in English language, step out of your comfort zone, try something new, try something that is different from what you actually do. This is the way you're going to feel natural and you are going to improve. Being complacent is also the same thing. You feel like, oh, I have reached where I wanted and I don't want to move on. Complacent. Let's say this person feels complacent to the extent that he never wants to go on learning. Uyu muntu rwose yumva yarize byose yagezeyo nta nubwo ashaka gukomeza. He's complacent. Are you complacent in English? Please don't be, unless you are a native speaker. But tell you what, native speakers also study, they learn, they keep growing in language. That's why we say being complacent could not be something I recommend. Being retrograde. Now, this is worse. Maybe being complacent at least can be if you know that you have attained a certain level and you feel like you don't want to move on, that's okay. But what if you are now retrograde? Retrograde, it's like when you're moving backward. And this happens a lot in English and in languages, because if you don't practice, you get retrograde, you get backward. Urasubira inyuma rwose. Ururimi uraruvuga. If you don't speak, if you don't practice, you retrograde. You're getting retrograde. So start using these words also in your life, in your real life conversations. If you don't want to stay in your comfort zone, don't always say, oh, I'm stuck. You can also say, I'm inert, or I'm stagnant, or, you know what? It feels like I'm retrograde. I'm getting back. I'm now getting back to where I came from, and it's worse. Another consequence of being in a comfort zone is being predictable. Do you know being predictable? Ni cya gihe abantu bakumenyera bakaba bazi uburyo uvuga. Wafata ijambo ahantu bakabazi si bya bindi agiye kuvuga se. He's the same thing. He doesn't change. He's predictable. It is predictable. You are also being predictable. If you always say the same words, you are predictable. You are that person. You don't change. Because you feel like you are in a comfort zone and you feel like you are good, but people will be tired. People will be annoyed of listening to you. And so, don't be predictable. You always have to surprise people. Surprise people by the way you speak, by the way you do everything. So, let's head up now to the best choice that you can make. You can choose either to stay in your comfort zone or step out of the comfort zone. Ushobora guhitamo gukomeza kuba ahuri ahumva ko rwose wagezeyo, cyangwa se ugahitamo kujyana natwe ugasohoka ukava muri ibyo. You keep improving. Step out of your comfort zone. You can decide to venture. Venture means you try something else, something that you never done before, something that you never did before. You have to step out and venture. Decide to venture. All this was also important for you. We are both learning in a very, very personal way, but this can also help you when you're talking, when you're using these words like venture. Venture means trying something new. She decided to venture into speaking English with strangers. This is a good example. Let's say you always talk to your neighbors and they make you feel like you are all good in English, but maybe you never met someone who is stranger. And guess what? If you meet someone stranger, that's when you will realize that maybe your English is good or not. Because some of the times we are just with our neighbors, the people that we like, the people that know us from the start, and they always encourage us. Of course, they don't want to make us lose hope. hari igihe tuba turi kumwe n'abantu batuzi badashaka ko tumenya ko dufite intege nke, but sometimes hari igihe uzahura na wa muntu ukurenze. That's when you will know that maybe your English is. So start doing that in advance. Tangira ubyimenyereze, shaka abantu bashya, look for strangers and talk to them in English. Venture into something new. Push your boundaries. Push your boundaries. You know that the boundaries are the areas where you can't bypass. So in English, if you push your boundaries, you also try something new. Kurenga imbibi. Nta mbibi zihari mu kwiga. You can always push your boundaries. That's what I tell you. Push your boundaries. The next thing you can do is, of course, step out of your comfort zone. Step out. Get free. Break free. That's all the same thing. You know, breaking free is like you've been tied up and you are now breaking free from the habits, from the limits, from the fear. Va muri ibyo. Don't always use the same words. Don't always be you. You can change. Don't make yourself predictable. As I said, don't make yourself predictable. You can change and you can do better than you do. Thank you very much. That was about comfort zone. And even if it's good, but I don't want to make you stay in the comfort zone. Get out of it, practice more, and grow in your English. See you next time. This is Teacher Gervais.